JBN, we keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, Mavis Bank farmer killed in $100 dispute, another in police custody. One farmer is dead, and another in police custody following a fight over $100 in Westphalia District, Mavis Bank, St. Andrew on Monday morning. The dead man has been identified as 28-year-old Johnny Walker, otherwise called Teddy, a resident of the community. The other farmer is 21-year-old. Police reported that on New Year's Eve night, Walker and the other farmer had a dispute over $100 while they gambled in Westphalia Square. This led to a fight, which residents intervened and parted. The police say around 9:30 on Monday morning, Walker was coming from a shop and heading to his bush with his machete in his hand when he confronted the suspect along School Road in the community. An altercation again developed, which led to a fight. During the fight, Walker was stabbed several times in his torso. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police said the suspect, who was cut on his left hand and forehead, handed himself over to the Mavis Bank police station shortly after the incident. British citizen murdered by deportee in St. James. The police in St. James have confirmed that a suspect has been taken into custody in connection with the death of a man from Britain who was shot dead by a gunman at a guest house in Bogill, St. James on Monday. The deceased has been identified as 33-year-old Sean Patterson, a personal trainer who resided in West London in Britain. Reports are that about 11:45 a.m., Patterson was standing on the pool deck at the One Love Villa in Bogill when he was approached by a man with a handgun. It is reported that the gunman chased Patterson and shot him multiple times. The police who were called saw Patterson in a pool of blood when they arrived. He was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. A friend of the deceased said that Patterson arrived in the island on a Virgin Airlines flight from London, England on December 29. It is understood that Patterson spent 3 days at a popular apartment complex in Freeport, but later booked in at the One Love Villa in Bogill. The 34-year-old suspect, who is said to be from Kingston, was allegedly deported from England in 2013. Patterson is the first person to be murdered in St. James since the start of the year. In 2022, St. James recorded a total of 198 murders. 4 arrested after being caught pushing wounded man from vehicle. 4 men were detained after they were caught on Sunday attempting to push an injured man from a vehicle along the Hillshire Main Road in Portmore, St. Catherine. The police were quick on the scene as the men tried to escape in 2 awaiting vehicles. A team of officers gave chase and the men were caught. The wounded man was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Superintendent Upton Nicholson, acting commanding officer for the St. Catherine South Police Division, said investigators believe the deceased man was part of a group involved in shootings in the corporate area when he was shot and injured. Superintendent Nicholson warned Jamaicans, especially young men, to avoid getting involved with gangs or other criminal activity. He said the St. Catherine South Police Division will continue to be vigilant in monitoring communities to deny criminals the opportunity to commit crimes. Cocaine worth $90 million seized at airport. Over 12 kilograms of cocaine with a street value of $600,000 or 90,603,000 Jamaican dollars was seized at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston on Monday. Reports are that about 7 a.m., anomalies were detected on a suitcase destined for the United States of America during routine security checks. A search of the luggage was conducted and the illicit drug was found. According to the police, a manhunt was launched and a suspect was subsequently apprehended in the Kingston 6 area. He was arrested for reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drug Act. His identity has been withheld pending further investigations. Jamaica recorded 1,498 murders in 2022. Jamaica recorded 1,498 murders in 2022, according to the latest crime statistics on the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. This is 24 more homicides when compared to last year. Data contained in the latest statistics indicated that 1,474 murders were recorded in 2021. This is a different figure from previous information released by the JCF, which stated that 1,463 murders were recorded last year. Going back to the 2022 figures, St. James, with 198 homicides, is the most murderous division, followed by St. Catherine North with 145, Westmoreland with 140, St. Andrew South 131, and St. Catherine South with 113. Portland had the least murders with 14. Shootings, injured persons, and rape recorded declines year on year. However, there were increases in robberies and break-ins in 2022. Businessman charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in St. James. A businessman has been arrested and charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition after his vehicle was searched during an operation in Granville, St. James on Monday. Charged is 28-year-old Ricardo Downer of Westgate Hills in the parish. Reports from the Montego Bay Police are that about 9:20 p.m., a joint police-military team was conducting vehicular checks along Gordon Crescent in Granville. Downer, who was reportedly driving a Toyota Accent motor car, was signaled to stop. He complied, and a search of the vehicle was conducted, which resulted in the seizure of a Glock 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 6 cartridges. Downer was subsequently arrested and charged. Barber charged for a double murder at a bar on Maxfield Avenue. A barber has been charged for a double murder, which took place at a bar on Maxfield Avenue in St. Andrew last month. He is 30-year-old Tajai Freeman, otherwise called Weng, of Golden Heights in Kingston 14. He has been charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of wounding with intent, and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The police say about 8:10 p.m. on December 7, all 3 victims were inside the bar when 3 armed men entered an open gunfire at patrons. When the shooting subsided, Marlon Carr, otherwise called English, a 46-year-old bearer of Sangsters Crescent in Tivoli Gardens, and Anastasia Douglas, otherwise called Tassie, a 35-year-old practical nurse of Melbrook Heights in Arborview, Kingston 17, were transported to hospital where they were pronounced dead. The 3rd victim was admitted for treatment. Freeman was taken into custody on December 29. He was charged following an interview in the presence of his attorney on Friday. Cop and co-accused in multi-million-dollar St. Catherine robbery remanded. A policeman and his co-accused were charged with a multi-million-dollar robbery of a delivery truck laden with cooking oil were remanded when they appeared before the St. Catherine Parish Court today. Parish Judge Nicole Keller was informed that investigators are still probing the case, including searching for other suspects. Detective Corporal Maurice Whittingham, 35, and 34-year-old construction worker Michael Daly were charged with robbery with aggravation and kidnapping, were ordered to return to court on February 7. Allegations are that on Saturday, December 17, 2022, Whittingham and Daly were said to be dressed in police paraphernalia, stopped a delivery truck along the Spanish Town bypass in St. Catherine. The truck, which was laden with cooking oil, valued over $3 million, belongs to Separate Limited. It is alleged that Whittingham approached the driver of the truck and asked about his data entry record and took him to a Honda motor car. The truck along with the sideman was driven to an unknown location. The truck was later located in the community of Thetford, which is located near Old Barber. A subsequent report was made and an investigation was launched, which resulted in the arrest of Whittingham and Daly. Further investigation led to them being charged. Crime Stop says JUTC vandalism info no good to probe. 8 months after a partnership was inked between the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC and Crime Stop Jamaica to offer cash in return for information, leading to the arrest on charge of vandals, no payouts have been made despite tips received. Under the partnership announced in April last year by Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw, up to $100,000 would be awarded to tipsters as one way of solving the years-old problem of vandalism of buses, which has caused injury to drivers and passengers alike, resulting in millions to repair broken windscreens and bus infrastructure. A JUTC bus costs, on average, $30 million. On Monday, Sheriff Bruce Douglas, manager of the National Crime Prevention Fund, otherwise known as Crime Stop Jamaica, said that since we started the collaboration and partnership with JUTC, unfortunately, we haven't received any actionable tips. We received tips, but there were not enough for us to send off for any actioning. I think one of the reasons for that is there needs to be increased public awareness, and maybe this will assist us in doing so, Bruce Douglas admitted. Actionable tips, Bruce Douglas said, are those that will peg the who, the where, and when of incidents. Information such as this will more definitely than not lead to a suspect or a person of interest. So we definitely need to know the who, the where, the when. Those are the details, as simple as it sounds, the Crime Stop Jamaica manager noted, pointing out that these information gaps are reflected in tips about other crimes received by the agency. It happens with a lot of information, not just on JUTC buses. Information that we do get that are not actionable enough tend to not have those little details that we can action. Those are the pertinent bits of information that we need, but most importantly, the who, because, of course, we need to do an investigation in order for it to lead to an arrest, Bruce Douglas pointed out. In the meantime, she said Crime Stop is inviting the public to relay information on other criminal activities plaguing the bus company outside of stone throwing. There needs to be increased public awareness, and maybe this will assist us in doing so. Increase public awareness on the partnership, letting people know that they can give information, not only on the bus vandalism. If they have any information on any of the employees that perhaps may be stealing petrol or parts on the buses, that is information we welcome as well. So I'm thinking going into this new year, we need to increase public awareness by letting people know they can call Crime Stop to give such information, she said. The JUTC on its website said incidents of vandalism have caused massive dislocation, resulting in buses being down for inordinate periods, as spare parts, which are not available in Ireland, have to be sourced overseas, affecting the operations and the ability of the company to generate much-needed revenue. The JUTC said between January 2018 and October 2021, there were 311 incidents of vandalism. In 2018, there were 99 incidents, followed by 2019 with 95 incidents. It said in 2020, there were 63 reports. The JUTC said in November last year, there were 2 stone-throwing incidents that resulted in injuries to passengers and damage to units. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.